Hey everybody, this is Shane Spiragowski. I'm the upcoming chair for the Emerging Technology Caucus. We have Aislinn Turner here, who is going to talk about Firstnet technology. So not necessarily the network, but everything that the network and the technology part of it can do. So I'm going to turn it over to Aislinn.
Thank you so much. Good morning, and thank you for being here for this tech talk. As he said, I am here to talk about the technology associated with the Firstnet network. And I'm not, here to imply that this stuff is only available with Firstnet, because that's just not true. I'm going to be talking a lot about stuff that our partners and other technology companies and developers have been working closely with us to produce, and stuff that's out there in the field that we are utilizing with our network to make it happen. So I need a clicker. Here we go. I have a couple slides just to tell you guys what Firstnet is, for those who may not know. It is an LTE broadband network that is nationwide, and it is built only for public safety. So this is something that's really, it's new, and public safety has been lobbying for it since 9/11 happened, when they had a lot of problems and they couldn't talk to each other very well during that event, especially across state lines. Public safety really saw a need for a network like this. And so in 2012, Congress created the Firstnet Authority and made this happen. So we have partnered with AT&T to make this network possible, which essentially means we're utilizing AT&T's existing commercial network already, which is quite expansive, plus building onto it to make it, building new towers to expand the network, and to harden existing towers and upgrade them to LTE standards. And just the main difference between our network and a regular commercial network is that it gives priority and preemption to public safety and emergency managers as well. They fall into that category, which basically means they get priority over everyone else on the network, and preemption, meaning they can kick them off when the network becomes too congested. So that's all I have to say about Firstnet. If you're interested in the devices that exist that are compatible, you can go to firstnet.com and find all of that on there. We've got pretty much everything you can think of. That's a lot of stuff that's available today, from tablets to smartphones to ruggedized devices, vehicular modems. There's lots of stuff, and it's all on firstnet.com. But I want to talk now a little bit about some technology that's in development and already existing. I feel like the most popular stuff that most people have heard about is with policemen and firefighters. You hear a lot about body-worn cameras. You hear a lot about health sensors that they can wear to monitor their health. You hear about smartwatches and all these new gadgets, that are coming out for police officers and firefighters. But a lot of stuff is also being worked for emergency management as well. I think something that's really popular is drones right now. A lot of emergency managers are excited about drones and using them to fly over areas, where search and rescue is happening, or to do damage assessments. There's a lot of other stuff that's happening too, and I'm really excited about what you can do now with streaming and with essentially improving the situational awareness in EOCs. You can, I think apps are basically one of the key things that emergency managers are using today to pull information from the field. So for example, apps that are existing from other partners of emergency managers, like transportation. I know in Georgia, I actually worked for Georgia Emergency Management Agency prior to Firstnet Authority, and we worked very closely with GDOT, Georgia Department of Transportation, and they had an app where they could track in real time where all of their trucks were located, like salt trucks and brine trucks, and we could see in the EOC on the screen where the trucks were moving in real time. So there's a lot of great apps that are coming out that we are able to be pulling all this data from the field and streaming it to the EOCs. And there's lots of things that are becoming capable today that we couldn't do even just a few years ago. And so I think because of networks like Firstnet and the enhanced capabilities that come with broadband and LTE nowadays, we're able to take large amounts of data from lots of different locations and bring them all together to the EOC, stream them better, and shift through the data and manage it better than we used to in the past. But something that's also really neat about FirstNet and just in new technology in general is this local control portal. So if you think about your own carrier that you use today, whether it's Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile, if you log into your portal nowadays, pretty much all you can do is look at your bill, pay your bill, maybe manage your devices. Well, FirstNet subscribers have a lot more capabilities in their portal. They get access to all this stuff when they sign up, including lots of training resources, an IoT control center, so Internet of Things control center, a network status tool, an Uplift tool, and lots of reporting capabilities. And I want to focus the next two slides on these two areas, the network status tool and Uplift tool, because this, especially for emergency managers, are something that they have wanted for a long time, and we've been working with them over the past 2 years to bring this to them. So what is a network status tool? It is a map in your portal that you can go to of the United States that shows you everything you need to know about the network. Alerts, maintenance alerts, weather alerts, disaster related alerts. But it also can show you if there's any outages, is there problems happening with the network? You can see that. This is unprecedented because up until now, no other commercial carrier has provided inside access like this into the network. And so this is something that public safety is really excited about, emergency managers in particular, and they're using it already today, and we're continuing to improve it so that everything's happening in real time and we can make it available, all these alerts and things available to you in real time. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Uplift. So emergency managers, this is really, I think, mostly designed for emergency managers. Uplift is the ability to uplift users that aren't a primary user. So with FirstNet, we have primary users and extended primary users. Primary includes law enforcement, fire, EMS, 911, and emergency management. Anybody else that supports public safety would be an extended primary user. So that would be like transportation, utilities, public health, NGOs like the Red Cross. All of them would be extended primary users. So primary users like emergency managers can uplift those extended primary users for up to 24 hours, although they can keep renewing that another 24 hours if they need to. But this gives those users the ability to have the highest level of priority over everybody else on the network for a set amount of time, which is really wonderful if you've got a disaster that happens in your jurisdiction that's specific to public works or specific to transportation, and they're the primary agency that's leading the response. They're definitely going to need to be uplifted to the highest priority that they can be. So this is a tool that emergency managers can do themselves. They don't need FirstNet to be able to do it. They just need to log into their portal. They can do it within a few clicks. And so this is something that emergency managers are really excited about today. The last thing I wanted to touch on is the app catalog and the app developer process. So just like on your phone today, you have an Apple Store, you've got a Google Play Store. FirstNet subscribers also have a FirstNet App Catalog that contains apps just specific to public safety. So it's filled with all kinds of great resources and apps specific for law enforcement, emergency managers, firefighters to use. So there's a program we have called the App Developer Program where anyone out there can develop an app to put into our catalog, but it's got to go through robust security checks. But they can submit it to us. We will essentially review it and certify it. So we hold very high security standards on our network because this being a public safety network, it's vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks. And so we have very robust security standards that have to be met in order for an app to be added into our app catalog. So this is kind of the process showing that. And then lastly, I want to talk about 2 use case studies in emergency management that are very recent, where emergency management has been using FirstNet. So Hurricane Florence just happened a month or 2 ago and hit the Carolinas really badly, as you all know. And Hal Louder, who is the director of the City of Whiteville's Emergency Operations Center, that's in North Carolina, he basically, his quote is that at the height of the storm, we lost all of our land-based mobile systems out of our county dispatch center. At one point, we were the only thing talking in the county. All their other communication systems failed. Even their LMR system failed. They used FirstNet's push-to-talk capabilities to talk during this storm, and that was the only thing working. So that's just a really good testimony about the importance of having backup communication systems and resilient communication systems that you can rely on. I mean, FirstNet is built to be hardened. It's built to withstand disasters. So it's really incredible that this was the only thing talking, and it just shows like the robustness of this network. And then secondly, I wanted to talk about the Newport, Rhode Island Volvo Ocean Race, which is an annual race that they host. It's huge. I mean, it happens over 13 days, and it draws over 100,000 tourists to this little town every year. And so they have a lot to deal with this event. And one of the ways that they used FirstNet was to track in real time the location of their hazmat team. So every little red dot on here shows the location of their hazmat team members, and their goal was to secure the entire perimeter of the race. So they were able to use location-based tracking to actually see where their perimeter had gaps, so they could fix that. They've had problems with this in the past with prior races where they couldn't get people where they needed to be, and which caused problems. And so his quote from Tom Guthling, he's the operations section chief for the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency. He said, in the past, not being able to communicate all the time, we didn't know where people were when something happened. But with FirstNet, the tracking of public safety entities in the venue has been great for situational awareness. We knew exactly where they were. So this is another great capability that's available now to emergency managers, is the ability to track in real time their resources and track other things in real time. Resources, people, equipment. It's a growing trend that emergency managers are using. So that's all I've got for you today. We are all over social media if you want to follow us. FirstNet.gov is kind of our hashtag for a lot of things. We also do have a firstnet.com site, which is run by AT&T, our partner. It's got a map on there, a coverage map, and it's got lots of other great information about devices and capabilities. So here's my info if you need it. We've also got a booth right around the corner here if you want to come talk to us, but feel free to reach out, and thank you.